Welcome to Whispers and Secrets, where the shadows tell their stories and every secret comes with a price. Turn down the lights, turn up the volume, and let's begin. Picture this. You finish a late shift. You board the train home. You sit down, tired, ready to relax. And the stranger behind you pulls out a knife and ends your life in seconds. That is what happened to Iryna Zarutska, a refugee who survived war, only to be murdered in peacetime. On August 22, 2025, a young woman fleeing war boarded a train in Charlotte, North Carolina. 4 minutes later, she was stabbed to death by a complete stranger. This is the chilling case of Iryna Zarutska, a refugee from Ukraine who escaped bombs and tanks only to be murdered on American soil. And the man who killed her, a homeless repeat offender with a violent past and untreated schizophrenia. Iryna Zarutska was just 27 years old, born and raised in Kiev, Ukraine. She studied art restoration, loved history, and dreamed of a peaceful life. But when Russia invaded her country in 2022, she fled with her family to the United States. Charlotte, North Carolina became her new home. She worked at a pizzeria. She studied English. She built a quiet, simple life. Her friends describe her as kind, hardworking, and hopeful. But that August night, her life ended in the most brutal way possible. At 9:46 p.m., Iryna boarded the Lynx Blue Line light rail in Charlotte's South End. She texted her boyfriend, "I'll be home soon." Surveillance shows her stepping onto the train and sitting down near the window. In the same car sat her killer. His name was Carlos Brown Jr., 34 years old, homeless, a man with a violent criminal record. For 4 minutes, nothing happened. Then, without warning, Brown pulled a pocket knife from his hoodie. He flipped it open and stabbed Iryna 3 times. One of the wounds went directly into her neck. She collapsed onto the floor. Blood spread across the train. Passengers screamed, frozen in shock. 2 minutes later, Brown calmly exited at the next stop. Police waiting on the platform arrested him immediately. For Iryna, it was already too late. Who was this man? Carlos Brown Jr. had been arrested at least 14 times. His crimes included felony larceny, robbery with a deadly weapon, assault, shoplifting, and threatening others. In 2014, he served 5 years in prison for armed robbery. When released in 2020, he attacked his own sister and harassed 911 with strange calls. In January 2025, he told police someone had implanted a man-made material in his body, controlling his eating, walking, and talking. His mother tried to get him committed. Doctors diagnosed him with schizophrenia. But the courts released him again and again. 3 times in 2024 alone, Charlotte police encountered him. Each time, he was referred to resources, but he was never taken off the streets. Brown's paranoia only grew worse. According to his sister, he believed Iryna was reading his mind, that she had some kind of control over him. This twisted delusion may have been his only motive. A complete stranger, murdered because a man thought she was inside his head. Brown was charged with first-degree murder, but the case didn't stop there. The US Department of Justice also charged him federally for committing an act of violence causing death on a public transportation system. That federal charge allows for life in prison, or even the death penalty. Meanwhile, Iryna's family was shattered. Her boyfriend was waiting for her to come home that night, Her parents believed America would be safe, only to bury their daughter. Outrage exploded across North Carolina and in Ukraine. President Zelensky demanded justice. Lawmakers rushed to pass Iryna's Law, a bill tightening bail rules and re-evaluating how violent offenders with mental illness are handled. The killing of Iryna Zarutska is a terrifying reminder of what happens when mental health, criminal justice, and public safety all fail at once. No sentence can bring her back, but her story forces us to ask, how many more must die before change comes? Rest in peace, Iryna. That's another dark tale from the shadows of whispers and secrets. If you want more chilling stories and true crime mysteries, don't just watch. Join the circle. Hit that like, share with someone who loves a scare, and make sure to subscribe, because the next secret might be darker than this one.